In this city park in central Turkey, the children play without a care in the world. But in Kayseri today, their parents are watching them closely. It was next to this park that two families last saw their 3 children more than a month ago.
At around 4:30, my wife called them and they said they were coming home. But then visitors arrived, and by the time my wife dealt with the guests, they'd vanished.
2 of the TEKIN's children, Ahmet aged 8 and Dilruba aged 7, in the company of a neighbour's child, Tukan aged 11, disappeared without a trace after going house to house collecting sweets at the end of Ramadan.
God forbid, but if they were all dead, we would have found their bodies by now. They must have been abducted, but for what reason, we don't know.
Turkey has always had a problem with lost children, but this year is different. Already more than 1,000 children have been reported missing by their families. That's twice as many as last year. Something is going wrong in Turkey. The problem? No one knows what it is. There's been one official investigation into Turkey's missing children compiled 2 years ago. It has plenty of theories, but little hard evidence.
Child trafficking is mentioned in our report, and organ smuggling and child pornography. Around the world we see the exploitation of children.
7-year-old Leyla BAYKUSAK vanished nearly 2 months ago from her home in the Kurdish city of Diyarbakir. Her disappearance has unnerved the people here. When a man was caught recently allegedly trying to snatch a child, an angry mob gathered outside the police station. Leyla's district is not like the Tekin's. People here are very poor, but the community is strong. Leyla's family sounded the alarm 15 minutes after she was overdue, coming back from a nearby shop.
This area is full of people. How can she just disappear? Everyone knows her here. But in God's name, no one has come forward to say someone took her by the hand and led her away.
Diyarbakir police recently went looking for freshly dug graves. But like police in Kayseri, they admit they're stumped. Turkey is now awash with rumours, though there have been no prosecutions of any child-stealing mafia or organ sellers.
This is what really scares me, the not knowing, the uncertainty, what the reasons could be.
Child beggars are a business in Turkey, but with no centralised public database and no national coordination, spotting missing children in other cities is almost impossible. Families have to raise money for their own campaigns and pray the worst has not happened. Anita McNaught, Al Jazeera in Diyarbakir and Kayseri.
We're going to talk this through some more with a sociology professor. Nilufer Narli joins us now from Istanbul. Thank you for your time. On the one hand, you could say, well, children go missing in any country all over the world every day. But for 1,000 already this year in Turkey, what do you think's going on?
It is very difficult to find out what is happening to missing children, but in order to analyze the situation from sociological point of view, I should mention that Turkey is a young generation. Turkey is a young population. Children in the age group of 0 to 18, and of course it includes teenagers, the number is 27 million. 27 million people are in the age group of 0 to 18. Right. And 36% in this group come from the poor households. In Turkey, some children run away from the poor households, and second reason is being subject to physical abuse, beating. And children run away from the violent homes, then some of them are taken by child trafficking gangs, and they are sold to mafia, which use children for sexual exploitation. When we look at the figures in Turkey, what we see is a rise in child pornography, rise in the number of children who are pushed into crime, and rise in the number of children who are abused at home.
So a specific targeting, I think you're saying then, of those most vulnerable in society. What about the actual investigations into this? I think in Anita McNaught's report, she said 2 years ago there was a major investigation. Do you think it came up with anything?
No, not yet, but in the parliament in 2008, Canan Arıtman, Mrs. Canan Arıtman, she is a deputy from CHP opposition party. She gave a motion asking investigation what happened to missing children, and she gathered data from the expert reports and police reports. She presented a report. This year in October, again someone from the CHP, Mr. Kemal Anadol, submitted a motion in the parliament asking investigation. There is a human rights agency under the Prime Ministry. This agency is working on missing children and trying to, prepare a comprehensive report, but still there is no concrete evidence and results telling us what happened to these children, missing children in Turkey. Sometimes children are lost, they are found later, but when we look at the figures, it is doubling, as the reporter mentioned before.
It's a frightening topic. Nilufer Narli, thank you for your insight into that, and hopefully some better news might come of this as time goes on. Thank you.